Shalom, call all y'all about Shin Shah. And in this video, I want to go over a little history lesson. But like they always say, history repeat itself. But this time it's going to be on a more grander scale. Now in the book of Micah, chapter 1, verse 4, it says, I'm going to start at verse 3, it says, For behold, the Lord Yahweh Shin Shah comes forth out of his dwelling place. He will come down and tread on the high places of the earth. The mountains will melt beneath him, and the valleys will split apart like wax before the fire, like water cascading down the slope. Hey, and that's what's gonna happen, man, these times. And when you look at the stuff that's been happening in the news and all that, with this ceasefire going on over with the Persians, the Iranians, and then you got Amalek over there in our land, in Israel. That stuff been heating up over there. And who ultimately gonna be the main partakers in that war when it escalates? It's gonna be Russia and the U.S. So I'm gonna let this video play, and I'm gonna go into some of those scriptures real quick. It shouldn't be too long. I'm gonna try to make it short and just get straight to the point.
Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD was the sheer suddenness of...
And see, and before I play this anymore, when we was in school, they told us about Pompeii, but they ain't really going like full detail of what really was going on at that time. And you know how people were scattered amongst them too. They was over there in that part of Rome also.
Pompeii's destruction. But while the town's destruction was unspeakably tragic, the speed at which it happened wasn't nearly the worst thing about it. Two festivals happening in the town at the same time meant the tragedy of Pompeii ended up so much worse than it should have been. According to the book Pompeii, an archaeological guide, the Pompeians were in the middle of a multi-day celebration in honor of the Emperor Augustus. Known today as the first emperor of the Roman Empire, Augustus had died 65 years earlier and had just been made a god, as well as having the month of August named after him. Pompeii's streets were filled with public celebrations, including street musicians, fortune tellers.
And see, look, hey man, you know how people was in amongst this shit, out there celebrating, turning up, getting drunk, not knowing what the fuck about to happen, not even considering there's a volcano in the vicinity. Just like when you read the book of Matthew, chapter 24, right now, you know, you got people in this festive spirit, this holiday spirit, like numerous people that ask me, oh, how was your holiday and all this other shit? And they know I don't celebrate that shit. They just want to ask me to see what I'm going to say. And I tell them, like, you know I don't celebrate that shit. And they be like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Like, no, they ain't fucking forget. They just wanted to see what the fuck I'm going to say. But see, while they playing and paying attention to these little unholy days and not paying attention to what's going on around the world, and these countries are positioned in their militaries and their nuclear weapons that aim over here. The same thing was going on back then, man. And the men that's awake and is actually paying attention to what's going on, seeing what's really going down, was they watching the news, reading the articles, and lining it up with the scriptures. But in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, start at verse 37, it say, but as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Hey, and it's gonna happen again, man. Well, not again. So like this little incident in Pompeii is gonna happen on a grander scale in the U.S., but it ain't gonna be no damn volcano there.
Plays, and athletic events. Many of those performers and athletes came from outside Pompeii to take part in the event, as did the...
And you know what they was over there doing, man. That's why when they was all burnt up and all laid out together and all that different stuff, you know what was going on. I ain't gotta explain that shit.
Visitors and tourists who came to see them. We can't know exactly how many extra people were in the town at the time of its destruction, but it is certain a lot more lives were lost than might have happened if the eruption had happened a month later. Even worse, the day before the eruption was Vulcanalia, the festival of the god Vulcan, otherwise known as the god of fire and volcanoes. It wasn't so much that the people of Pompeii didn't get a warning that Mount Vesuvius was going to erupt, because there definitely would have been smoke, small earthquakes, and loud rumblings at the very least. It was more that because of Vulcanalia, they would have interpreted these signs as good omens from the god rather than the warnings to get out of Dodge. As far as the townspeople cared, these warnings were simply signs that Vulcan was busy at his forge inside Mount Vesuvius, perfectly happy that everyone was celebrating his special day. It wasn't just the timing of the festivals that screwed everyone over in Pompeii, though. It was also the weather. According to Perspecta Weather, the wind in that part of Italy during August tends to blow in a southwesterly direction. If this had been the case during the eruption, the cloud of ash and deadly gas from the volcano would have blown away from Pompeii. Sure, there still would have been the whole heat and lava thing to contend with, but that wasn't what killed most people in the city. If the ash and gas had spread in the direction the wind normally blew, far more people would have likely survived. But for some reason, that day the wind was blowing to the northwest, straight towards Pompeii. Aside from dooming the town itself, this also meant that many of the town...
Nah, you have people that is warning people about this stuff, man. You try to mention this to your family or so-called friends or people you just come across, people you see out, in the Agora, cheap place of concourse and stuff like that. Just have a conversation with these people. And they don't want to hear this shit. They want to hear about something else. So, and I speak a little rough saying shit because they ain't just no shit. But they don't want to hear these words. They want to hear something else. You talk about this, like, oh, you always talk about that Bible. You want to talk about that Bible. You don't want to talk about nothing else. No, because what's really going on right now is the stuff that's been written before time. Now it's in the book of Judges, in chapter 2, verse 17. I'm going to start at verse 16. It says, then the Lord Yahweh raised up judges, which is another cut that people will be like, oh, only God can judge me. You don't want direct judgment from Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. You better hope you have a mediator that can tell you before you get judged by Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Now it says, then the Lord raised up judges who saved them from the hands of those who plundered them. Israel, however, did not listen to their judges. Instead, they prostituted themselves with other gods and bowed down to them. They quickly turned from the way of their fathers who had walked in obedience to the Lord's commandments. They did not as their fathers had done. So, same stuff going on today, man. You got Yahweh Shem Yahushua putting the spirit out on certain men to be able to break down these scriptures and understand these words. They don't got no scholarship. They didn't go to no theological school or none of that stuff. They don't have no 501c3 charters or none of that. And you try to bring this word out to your people, and they look at you like you got 10 heads or some shit. So, when this stuff starts popping off, hey, let me go to another scripture. It's in the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 25, so I'm going to start at. It said, because you neglected all my counsel and wanted none of my correction, in turn I will mock your calamity. And when you read into the actual King James translation, it says, I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And hey, and how Yahweh Bashem Yahushua gonna mock and laugh? They ain't gonna open up the clouds and you ain't gonna hear loud out of the clouds and no junk like that. You gonna hear is the men that's down here is not going through them calamities or none of them issues and all that stuff. Gonna be laughing because we're gonna be able to see how certain people getting jacked up. Like, damn, look at this shit. This motherfucker, damn, fucking coyote just came and ate somebody, and that type of shit gonna be going on. Fucking sinkhole open up while people walking around looking stupid, and they fall into that shit, but you get saved from it. Whoever the spirit be on that the Lord be dealing with, going to be delivered in these times. Hey, that shit gonna be funny to certain people. It might seem grim, but that's what's gonna be going on, man. You want people to get right and do certain stuff and carry themselves a certain way. Stop celebrating these wicked ass fake pagan holidays. Stop eating abominable foods. Stop committing adultery. The list goes on. Not hating your own kind. People always talking about love thy neighbor and all this stuff. People, hey, the scriptures say the love of many shall wax cold, and that's exactly what be going on. Because people don't be showing no real love like that. They be saying, "Oh, I love you," but they don't mean that shit.
People couldn't escape. Pompeii sits on a bay, and some people evidently attempted to escape by ship. But our only eyewitness account of the tragedy, by Pliny the Younger, says the wind was blowing dead inshore and stopped terrified residents, including his own uncle, from leaving that way. Their most effective escape route was blocked off because of a bizarre change in the weather. In fact, the nature of the wind that day was so bizarre that it has caused some historians to think we have the date of the eruption wrong. According to the Australian National Maritime Museum, the unexpected wind pattern could mean the eruption took place in autumn, later in the year than first thought. Considering many of the people of Rome lived around 2,000 years ago, it's easy to feel a disconnect between their lives and our own. But with Pompeii, we don't just have the skeletal remains of those who died. We can actually see in great detail the fear on their faces at the moment of their deaths. The nature of the detail in these remains makes the town's destruction feel like so much more than just history. When Pompeii was being excavated in the early 1800s, the archaeologists realized that when they found a skeleton, it was always surrounded by a void in the compacted ash. The diggers started pouring plaster of Paris into the spaces, and what emerged were essentially casts of people during the last moments of their lives.
And look, hey, this shit gonna be worse over here, man. This shit here, just think about this shit. Just getting a little flash and a little vision of what's gonna actually take place. And I'm gonna play this other video I've seen online too, of what's actually gonna be happening, what's gonna cause this to take place. Now, in the book of 2 Peter, it says, in chapter 3, I'm gonna start at verse 10, I'm gonna read it through to 11, and say, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up." Now, what's going to cause that to happen? But let me go to this other video I saved real quick. I was going to wait till the end of this and play it. I'm going to play it right now so you can hear this sound. And look at the timestamp right on there. Listen, hold on, cause I got my volume down a little bit, cause you got some devil want to call security on it and talk about the sound and shit. Meanwhile, it be other real shit going on. But let me play this back real quick. Now, in the scripture it says, "In which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise." Now, here go this great noise right here. Now, you imagine that shit times 100,000 or more, because they got a shitload of these nukes. Hey, motherfuckers gonna be paying attention. Ain't nobody gonna be looking down at their phones then when this shit be going on. Now, hold on, let me go to another video. That ain't the only one I had seen on it. It was something else I saw recently. I'll be trying to save some of these videos now, because you got these Edomites, they banning videos and shit now, so maybe I'm gonna have to make me another channel, because I know they're gonna take some of this stuff down. Now, once again, I'm gonna read this scripture one more time. Oh, here to go this fucking
No choice but
advertisement.
to move back home after college. They thought he'd be a little more motivated to find a job.
Alright, before that for shit play off, one more time, it says, "For the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night." Look, hey, this one ain't gonna be doing it too, right at nighttime, man. You can't make this shit up straight out the scriptures, man. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise." Here go that great noise again. fucking white man write this book, man. You always have people they want to go believe the fucking the book of Buddha and all this other dumb shit. They ain't got no prophecy in there. And you bring this out and you break it all the way down. They don't want to believe this, or they think some damn Edomite made this up. Let me run this back, man. It says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Now, when you go to the book of Revelation, and they talk about in 1 hour, that's all it's going to take, man. One of these will take out a whole state. So imagine they shoot off a couple 100,000 of them. Oh, and you best believe, hey, they're going to shoot that shit off, man. This shit wild, man. These the times that we really fucking living in, man. Now, it's in the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 17. It says, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company of ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea still afar off. Yeah, because you're going to have Moab, and man, all these other people that trade with the U.S., Ishmael and them. What other areas be trading? Europe, these different little places that trade, man, they're going to see this too. Let me go some more. It says, in verse 18, in chapter 18, it said, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is this? Oh, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Hey. And this recent, man. This ain't no, they tested this no 10 years ago shit. They tested this, what? How many days ago this was? The matter of fact, this is the day after Thanksgiving. This is when they doing this shit, man. They getting ready while people playing and shit. Hey, man, this the time they get close as possible to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Don't wait till the last moment when you see all type of shit breaking out. And then, oh, Lord, oh, Jesus, and all that stuff. Hey, that ain't even his name, first of all. And then on top of that, you ain't gonna be trying to hear that anyway, because you had all this time to get together, get your mind right, get your spirit right. And you can't be perfect, but you can show effort, you know. If you ain't showing no effort, hey, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua ain't gonna show no effort and try to help you out either. Now I'm gonna go to another scripture too, and I'm gonna let this video play and end this off.
In essence, the archaeologists could see the exact positions they took as the ash rained down. There are even animal casts, including one of a dog writhing on its back, twisted as if in great pain.
We find several groups together, 3 people together, 4 people together. It seems that they may be helping each other.
Yeah, they was helping each other, all right. Look how they laying. What they was helping each other do. Hey, man, hey, this is wild, man. What they was helping each other do down there.
But modern technology can take...
Hey, if you know the history, man, that's why when Paul was talking about the Gentiles over in that area, in Corinth and all that different stuff, man, hey, they was doing some weird-ass shit over there. Just like today, like when I was at work, man, I seen some wild shit, man. Dude in the car with a damn nigga with titties. And the nigga with titties looked at me because they felt condemned, like they just knew, like, damn, I should be ashamed of myself. And they fucking right.
This information even further. Seeker reports that in 2015, many of these casts were CAT scanned. This means we now know the victims' ages, sexes, and intimate details about their health. We can even construct accurate images of their face.
And who that look like right there? Now look down. I know you the man right there. They got the little afro on there. They constructing this though, from DNA and other molding and all that different stuff.
Faces, such as a 4-year-old boy frozen in terror or a baby asleep on its mother's lap. Giovanni Babino, the head radiologist on the project, said, "Working with these casts was extremely moving. It felt like I was dealing with real patients." Pliny the Younger provides our only eyewitness account of what happened on that day in Pompeii, and he didn't even write about it until more than 2 decades.
And that's how that's the spirit, man. That's how it's gonna look when all them ships. Let me go back real quick before I pull this up. Because I actually was gonna end this before that, but I just let that play a little bit. Now it says, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, "What city is like unto this great city?" So when these other countries look over here, this is what they gonna see. This is a prime example of exactly what they gonna see. Now all these other countries, they ain't gonna be an example either, because some of these other places they gonna get hit too. You know, the main areas with the most military activity and all that stuff be going on, that they target too. But the main places, the U.S. That's who all these other countries gonna turn against, because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua gonna put the spirit on them to turn on this place. And you see it in the news right now. Ain't nothing but division in the news with NATO and the EU, the UN, all this different shit going on. Hey, that's biblical, man. No, I ain't gonna let this play on no more. You want to look at it, check out a little history lessons. It's good to look at these history lessons too, because there's no new thing under the sun. There's some things just happen on a greater scale. But it's this channel called Grunge. And just be having different little stuff on there. I've been watching little random stuff about what's going on around the world and historical events and lining it up with scriptures lately. So, you other icon, you can check that out. But I'm gonna end this off with this. It's in the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 14. It says, "And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire." This is the second death. Now, the first death was a flood. That's why you got the rainbow now and that. But you got this community. I ain't gonna say no names, but y'all know what community I'm talking about, because they hear the word in the damn video and ban it. And you got this alphabet community. I'm gonna just say it like that. They done took the rainbow and twisted it and put it for this alphabet community. But that wasn't for that. That was for a covenant, for the Lord making a promise not to flood the earth with water, but this next flood gonna be with fire though. And that's why I say that right here in the book of Revelation. It says, "And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire." And another thing too, if everybody go to hell and die and burn up, I don't say everybody, but if people go to hell and die and burn up or whatever, how can you cast hell into a lake of fire? Well, I ain't gonna go into that. I just want to say that. Lord's will, this is edifying call by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and Shalom to the elect.